Welcome back. I am Dr. Harlal. I'm here with Dr. Brooks, and we are going over chapter 8 of the institution, the book called The Institution of Patriotism. And chapter 8 is amazing. We're covering the benefits of patriotism, and Dr. Brooks will go over these with us one by one. They're short point form, and you can read from the book.
What we want to do is give you several of these. Again, it's not all inclusive or extensive, but they are benefits that have been proven in the beta test where we had of patriotism.
And at the end of this chapter, in every chapter, you would see notes, a section for notes taking, and this is where we encourage you to add some ideas that come to mind, and even we will incentivize you if you can email these to Dr. Brooks, and you can find his email in the back of this book, and if it's good enough, it'll actually make it into a revised edition.
Yes. The first one we want to talk about is a better living environment. We've touched on this in the past, but one of the benefits of you starting to expand your world, expand your belief, expand the growth system of patriotism, again, you're not idle. You're more productive. And being more productive, you have more societal funds and economic structure.
Okay.
That's a better living environment. Don't we all want to live a little bit better tomorrow than we are today?
Yes, sir.
If you're living in a slum, if you're living without food or shelter or clothes, or you're homeless.
A war zone.
Or war zone. Better living conditions. Because we're going to stop the war, because we're going to know KNOW, the Creator, so we can KNOW know peace. So now that we know the Creator peace, but I'm still living substandard. We want you to have a better living environment, and this, in fact, will create the society in which will provide a better living condition. Better generational society. What in the world is that? I've never heard that term. Generation before generation before generation. I said before, not after. Has taught the same thing. It's like my mother frying the fish and cutting it in half.
Yes.
It's generational learning. We're going to break that chain and create a new learning, a new paradigm on generational society. And my kids, and your kids, and their kids, and then their kids, and their kids, and so on and so on, are going to start to live better. Better living conditions, better generational society. We're going to teach them that they don't have to have the stuff that wasn't productive in their lives that we have in ours. We're going to change the way we act. We're going to change the way we live. We're going to change the way we think.
Wow.
We'll show others how to live and how to prosper. Show others. Not me. We're going to show others. Remember, it's other-centered. Other-centered. That's the definition of being global. That's the definition of patriotism. It's not self-centered in and of itself. It's other-centered. Loyalty to country. We talked about loyalty to country and self. Having integrity. Knowing that you know, and doing the right thing even when no one is looking. Doing the right thing even when no one is looking. Where there exists pride and honor, a greater sense of ownership. Loyalty creates a greater sense of ownership. And it also, we want to move to another point, unity of purpose. Again, your purpose is different than mine. Mine is different than yours. But it's being on one accord, like the Tower of Babel, like a sports team, like music composers. What is your mission? Everybody has an end result. The end result is the same. How we get there may be different. So unity of purpose. Not so much the mechanics of getting there, but getting there, and then the mechanics are as individual as you and I. I know these sound strange, but it's exposing the lie and revealing the truth, Dr. Halal. Productivity increase. the GNP, the gross national product of your country increases as we become more productive. Your country becomes richer. Your country becomes more independent. So stop waiting for handouts and hand-ups. Create it yourself. Again, value creators. That's what we become. As a result of being value creator, one flows to the other, we get reduced crime. And wouldn't every government and city and state love reduced crime? So therefore, if we have reduced crime, again, going back, reverse engineering, if we have reduced crime, the government can do what it's supposed to do, protect and serve,
Yes.
and not worry about rehabilitation and prison building.
Right.
Amazing. Reduce crime because we're not idle any longer.
Wow.
Reduced domestic violence. No longer will I feel frustrated, pigeonholed. I have to take it out on somebody, the wife, the dog, the cat, the pigeon. There's no need for violence. For no longer will we feel that we are put upon. So violence begets violence. If you talk bad to me, if you create violence to me, I'm going to create it in someone else. No, we're going to stop the cycle where violence is let's create. Again, reducing violence allows the government to operate in its prime objective, protect and serve. When they're not operating in, there's crime, there's exposure, there's domestic violence. It has to have all of these other elements to ward against those. So you want your taxes to go down. You want a better living condition. Patriotism is the answer. And then peace among tribes. Tribal peace, whether that tribe is a community, a suburb, a cul-de-sac, or a tribe or a community. When we start to understand one another and can accept, not tolerate, can accept the differences, then we begin with our tribal movement together and peace among the tribes. Not war, but peace. And once a tribe or family is secure, once they have enough to eat and shelter and food, the surrounding community or tribe becomes unified. And there's that word again. Not untied, but it becomes unified. Those are some of the characteristics we want to explore, want you to explore. And you can explore more in depth on your own, and I encourage you to do so. If you have questions, email me, and we can start a dialogue. The patriotism for all areas in your life is this: mental, physical, spiritual, family, community, country.
Wow.
It attacks all areas and breaks all myths, and that you'll become stronger, you'll become leaner, you'll become more influential, you'll become a better person. Don't you want to be a better person? Haven't you been asking for that? Haven't you been praying for that? And the stronger the family unit, the better the teaching for future generations. Let me repeat that. The stronger the family unit, the better is the teaching for future generations. For cutting the fish in half, we only can teach what we know. We only can teach what we know. And all things flow upward, not downward. All things flow upward. And loyalty and defending the country. So as we become more independent, as we become loyal, as we get better living conditions, better environments, better social and economic conditions, it flows upward to the country. As the country does that, it flows upward to the world. And that's where the whole concept comes together. And you'll begin to see that. And you'll say, what kind of a part did I play in achieving that? And you'll be surprised that by one person's actions, an entire world has changed.
I love chapter 8 because it covers the benefit of patriotism, and it's phenomenal. You get it.
Leaders will love this part because they'll understand that it's not just the individual, but it's the governmental system that's going to benefit as well.
Right. The complete cycle.
The complete cycle.
We're overhauling the system. This is, and most importantly, patriotism for all areas of life. And this the benefit part is for government,
Yes.
and the all areas of life is for individuals.
That's-
And governments, of course, have individuals within each
The government is made up of individuals. Absolutely, Dr. Halal.
Phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Once again, continue to stay with us as we break down and unpack this thing called the institution of patriotism.
And in chapter 9, we're going to go into a unique chapter where we will come to the resolution that we are all one. No divide, but one in one accord. We'll see you in the next one.